I am joined here today by the host of the New Dawn podcast, the shot caller, NFC East's #1 baller, the MSR commissioner himself, Timbo in the building. How have you been, man? And how was your New Year's?
Pain Train, what's going on, bro? Thank you for having me. Things are going well. The league is moving briskly through this Madden 21 cycle, bro. But I'm ecstatic that we got someone else in the pipeline that's looking to create something dope. And just from the ideas and things you've been sharing with me along this way, I'm excited to get this going. So what you need? Yeah, I heard I'm the plug right now. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, man, plugged in with Timbo. That is the name of the segment. And obviously, you and I have talked at length in the past about the creative process and what it takes to bring MSR to the next level. And a lot of that has to do with league content. I would dare to say that the league is hitting new peaks as far as our content goes. What's your perspective on that?
In terms of the entire scope of the community, I think we are at I think we're probably just at like a push space. And what I mean by that is like we're kind of riding the equator of the content right now. We've had some things really kind of hick us up along the way. Twitter really put a dent in a few of our accounts that we use for a lot of content, especially our Inside the Sticks crew. A couple of Genesis accounts. We just remade the Genesis account. Shout out to Muck for getting that done. So we've had to move around a little bit in terms of that part, but we've had guys that just stay consistent throughout the cycle. We've had people emerge with their talents. Someone like Samoan, who's really taking his graphics to the next level. Red is another user, the Detroit Lions guy. Red has been so awesome throughout the whole cycle about just making sure his team stats, his player stats, like everything is always covered on Red's side. Who else can I think of? Some people throughout the cycle. I think about J-Rod, the draft guys. You got Lil Bear, who's really been on point with his content. Pretty much, it was set that he was going to have his Cardinals. Like, it just gave him a whole new battery on top of what he's already been doing in the community. So I think we're fine. I think we really are at a comfortable space. I'll say that. I think we're comfortable, but I do feel that there is room to improve, but not more in like a feedback or like kind of like somewhere we can grow. I just think that I think there's just more time as our users are getting more acclimated through the cycle. And there's always like for a couple where schedules got crazy. The holidays were wild for a lot of people with their schedules, and COVID, of course. So I'm enjoying what I'm seeing overall, given all the different road bumps that we've had along the way, and different different variables that have played a part in our consistency and content. But you look at the MSR network, you think of someone like Hop, who's really taken over the direction of the network. Really gotten the content moving on there. We've had our highest number of streams over the last couple of months, so we're getting there. And it's more about tackling the consistency part of it. But as long as everyone takes care of their own, I mean, look, we're all going to see some really good stuff come out as the cycle.
Yeah, man. And honestly, with all the OGs coming back, we got DK, we got Falco, we bringing in some new bloods. A lot of the Genesis guys seem pretty pumped up to get their content games up. And especially with those OGs coming back, I feel like it is sort of lighting a fire for everybody, even within MSR, to sort of let's start getting all of the content out. Like, the graphics are great. Everybody's starting to step up, and it's noticeable to see people improve throughout the season, especially this past season. I see like a lot of the graphic work got a lot better, even with guys like Hop and J-Rod, Heartless, like you were saying, Red. All these guys, the consistency's there, but now the quality is starting to climb as well, which I think is super, super great.
Yeah, the quality is has been the key. You're seeing people really take their ideas and their very their opinions and just how their different personalities, and they're putting it into their content. You're seeing people come out with just really animated type of stuff where almost like these players are popping out of your screen or outside of your phone. You see people really like we had a Photoshop class that got going at the early part. Towards the end of the last cycle and then the early parts of this cycle, just guys really taking that extra motivation and energy from Heartless and putting stuff together. I could think people like Muck, created, pretty much got, a lot of his stream set up with his overlays, getting his camera and everything set up. He got, started that up. And, someone like Joey's back in the community now, and he's been one of the main ones streaming, giving people tips about how they can grow their streaming platforms. So we have content in different levels. Like, of course, the podcast is regenerating, and we'll be getting back on for the new year. Like I said, we're really at a comfortable spot because now it's more like, okay, we know what we have, we know what we can do. Now, how do we springboard and take it to another level?
Let's talk about MSR on Instagram Live for a second. Your show, Live with Timbo. Personally, I'm a huge fan of bringing the league to external platforms separate from our own little Discord community, whether that be Twitch, YouTube, the individual team Twitters, like you were talking about, everybody's individual streams. What do you think Instagram brings to our league that makes it stand apart from other platforms?
Well, Instagram is one of those apps, like along with TikTok, that's kind of running the world right now. Like everyone is just on their phone, scrolling, seeing what everyone's doing. You're getting a vision into what's people's going on, whether it be from their fashion or just what they do for work or their philanthropy, whatever that you're interested in. Even sometimes if you want to look at a beautiful girl, like you got all of that there on Instagram. But with us, it's a platform where I feel like we can really take advantage of because we've had different starting points with the platform and really trying to figure out how we're going to get going. Even at points in the cycle, like it was, I was kind of outsourcing a little bit because, I don't like to feel like I'm monopolizing a lot of the content or doing a lot of things. But, there's certain areas where I feel like it has to have my imprint. And, Instagram was kind of dry for a while. I think we were about 2 or 3 months where we really didn't have anything consistent on there. And I just wanted to I just took the bull by the horns and said, I'm gonna just take care of this. And what I came up with was, how can we get more of our users to people who know nothing about us? Like, how can we explain what we do here by actually connecting with our actual community? And what I did was I just came up with an idea. I was like, how about we have more conversation? It doesn't have to be everything about MSR. We could talk about, real sports. We could talk about, other lifestyle conversations. I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can implement what we do with Madden and actually connect it to where we're talking about, just a little bit of everything and how it all encompasses together. I mean, I have ideas and topics that I want, more people to really give feedback into because they're coming down the line as we start the new year. Definitely talk about having how to have that balance, like how to have that balance between the family and the game, because we can be on this game and do a lot of things that can take us away from the family at times. How to have that balance, or people that are married or people that have kids, like how do you do that? And people that just, the competition part of, like, how does that wear on you? Like, sometimes, like, you play in 2 to 3 different leagues and you really care about your teams. And then, let's say you're having a rough week of, playing games. You're not really, playing your best. You may lost 2 games in one league and then 3 games in another league that week. And you just feel like you can't win at all. Like, how do you balance those moments and come out of those funks? I think those are a lot of things that people don't think about when it comes to video game. But as we're seeing, the gaming scene is becoming a real avenue for content, for for growth, for just, for people to get paid and figure out what they want to do and really expand. I feel that Instagram will give us a lot of insight to what we do as a community, and also keep people in tune what's going on day to day. The off season, we're going to get that going with, trade alerts. This story, the Instagram story, is where we're going to make our bread and butter, because that's what most people are paying attention to right now, is stories. Like, what are people doing minute by minute, hour by hour, instead of waiting for the post, on the feed, where it could be kind of jumbled up from 6 hours to you seeing something from 2 days ago. And I think that's where we're looking to really build up. Live with Timbo just kind of was one of my ideas that I've had over the years, where it's just kind of, it hit me and I wanted to do something with it, had a couple good ideas, put it together, and it kind of just took off on its own. So we're just looking to build a viewership, but that also starts with itself.
Yeah, man, that's perfect. And honestly, like with Instagram, I feel like you were kind of touching on a little bit, you get that sense of interactivity that you would with like a Twitch stream, but in a more casual sense with Instagram. You're pulling in people who, not just from the league, but your own followers, people who just maybe stumble across the live stream or just stumble across one of the Instagram posts, that really sort of gives you that sense of growth that we're looking for. And when you're so widespread like we are with MSR now, you definitely, there's a sense of legitimacy as well. I think that having all those platforms sort of adds to the league.
And that's the thing, because, as you said about expanding our platforms, we just expanded our network over to Facebook Gaming. Facebook Gaming is another platform that's growing rapidly. Myself, Kylo, Hop, we've all been kind of just keeping our eyes on these different areas of how we can grow. We're planning to do big simulcast broadcasts in the future for the next couple of seasons towards the end of the cycle. We want people to know what's going on over here. Of course, we're going to try to relaunch some merch. We're really just trying to get the community to be as one more and more. And I'm not saying that we're not, because we are. We're a big community. But as we get new people in, they're still trying to figure out what we do here, how we can be how, what's different with us compared to other leagues that they've been a part of. When you come into MSR, man, it's going to be, kind of a jack of all, kind of a jack of all trades kind of thing. You're going to get a lot of the sauce. You're going to get a lot of the great competition, but you're also going to get a lot of good quality content from people that care about what we put out. And I feel like the more that we have that as the mindset, it's only going to get better, man.
There's definitely something to be said about pretty much like passion projects. Everything that everybody is putting into the league, they're passion projects because there's no real requirements. Of course, it's like what we take notice of is what people are putting into the league because it's exactly what you're getting out of it. It's those vapors you were talking about. Once everybody starts to sort of reminisce and be able to take in the content that everybody else is putting, like it inspires others to kind of do the same, and that's where I guess that sense of competition, that fire that I was talking about earlier, really comes in.
Yeah, you see people compete, but you start to see people competing with content a little bit. Like, okay, you drop something today, I'm gonna drop something even better tomorrow. Or someone may, like myself. I know I'm kind of like the writer. Like I do a lot of writing. I just write a free write on my own in my phone all the time. I just have things I'm talking about, whether it be, and sometimes I don't even release it. It's just, I just try to keep, whatever my perspective or however I like to write. I like to write from different angles, things like that. And, to see other people that, if they don't write, then they'll go in a little bit extra. And like someone like Hoff, who even before he was an admin, he was literally compiling stats of every person in the league from year to year and then showing the differences from one season to the next. Like that's just something that no one asked him to do that, but he is such a spreadsheet guy and really likes to see things in analytical form. He just breaks it down that way. And it's added another level of intrigue, of immersion to this community because now you have something to value. Okay, that guy, the reason why he took a step up this season is because his defense got better by, allowing less, maybe 150 yards less per game than he did last year. Like you can see these type of things where maybe you wouldn't have understood it to that level before, but now you have these extra pieces of stats and information that really give you that real PFF, that real NFL type feel, and you're just getting on a console and playing on a controller for an hour or two a night. So I think that's really adds a lot of great flavor to this.
The segment is called Plugged In with Timbo, so I would be remiss. In fact, I would be doing a disservice to the league if I didn't ask you, what do you got in the pipeline? What can we expect from Timbo, MSR or otherwise?
I know there's been a little bit of like, what's going on with the Rise situation? Trust me, guys, just hold your horses. We've been having to fine tune the whole system. Of course, there was a big kind of an uproar about how it all came out from a couple of guys who are no longer with us. But when we kind of squared all that away, but the process of the last couple of years, I've been keeping tabs with a lot of the guys. I've been reaching out to these users, keeping stats. And we've got a really big recap of the first two seasons of the Rise client. And we're going to get our next class coming in that'll start from MSR season 27. We're looking to a couple of guys. I got a couple of tweets coming out this week. Some really good profile pieces that I've been working on for the next week or so. As we get into the off season, I just want people to really understand that this thing is deep. Like this project, and mind you, it was all my own brainchild, but this project is going down a whole line. Where I'm talking about Madden 22 and beyond, that we're going to have players that we're going to be looking back on and saying, hey, I had that guy, or he was, one of your players may end up being a Hall of Famer for the MSR, which is something we're looking to bring back. We want to get a Hall of Fame so we can look back at all these great players, all these great trades we have, and see how these people were able to, take these players to the next level. And I know with Rise that it comes off, because it's players that are being, custom draft, or not custom draft, but generated draft classes. And you're trying to figure out how these guys are going to be stars, but it's all about the user. And also sometimes, it may not be their first team where they take off. It may be the second team, but sometimes when you get to that second team, that's after the rookie contract or, towards the end of the cycle. How does that impact things? There's a lot of different angles that I'm tackling with this. And again, it's an evolving process, but definitely keep in tune for that, because that's been the main thing for me, just really getting that going. Otherwise than that, we have new NDP. Of course, NDP Live was last week. We're having another recorded episode of NDP soon. There's a couple other guys that are really working on some things that are trying to get me involved. And I say all the time, I try not to be involved in everything, but people always reach out for advice and maybe ask me to help out. So I just like to give, I'd like to give give endlessly from myself, because I feel like when you're able to help others, it really makes the product even better. But overall, we're good, man. I think the IG is going to continue to grow. That's really been the main thing, to get the IG going, and with the rise and just staying consistent with the content. Inside the Sticks, we're recreating that Twitter this week as well. So we're trying to get that daily feel of every time you look at your phone, there's some news that you can kind of get from MSR where it feels like a real beat, like a beat writer team.
First, I just want to say thank you again for joining me today on the first episode of Around the Revolution.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to kind of sign off with, basically holler at the people.
Look, you guys know what it is with me, man. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to have a great time, and I just want to facilitate that as best way as I can. I'm just like everyone else in the league. I try to stress that as much as I can. I know I say I'm the commissioner. I speak about it, and that's what it is. But I don't treat myself any different than anybody else in the league. If I hold myself to the same standards everyone else does. And even not even just the same, a higher standard, because I'm expected to be the face and sometimes the forefront of certain things, to be able to hold it on point. So that's the main thing. I just want people to understand that we're always here to have fun. There's been, I know over the last couple of seasons, especially to start this cycle, there's been a little bit, there's been some rocky times. There's been some uncertainty about certain things at times, and the different, like I said, there's different personalities. Sometimes they don't mesh all the time. But I just want people to focus. If you can do these main two things, I promise you, everything in the MSR will be easy. Just focus on yourself. Focus on what you can do to control the situation. Like, regardless of what anybody else does, what did you do to add to the situation? If you broke a rule, you can't be mad at somebody else doing, like, what did you do? Just focus on yourself. I think we all take a good stock of who we are personally, and just worry about ourselves, but also holding others accountable. Before you reach out for someone else, start with yourself, because I promise you, we can remedy a lot of the issues that we've had over the last couple of years. And some of the smaller issues, not really big things, but small things that have come up that have been a little bit of talking points throughout the community. I think those can be remedied. Overall, we're fine. I love where we are. Like I said, we got DK back. Falco's back. Shout out to Falco. J-Rod, he's been back in the community for a little bit, but now he's looking to be a five-time champion. We got a lot of people that over the last few months have really added to the stock and quality of what we have in the MSR community, and I'm excited to see how we continue to grow this thing. I'm constantly coming up with ideas to innovate and keep us pushing, as well as Kylo, our admin team. And I just want to say one thing: the reps have been awesome all cycle. The way that they've really taken on being another addition of the voice of the league, and taking things that we all talk about in the chats and really adding it to being a part of, just running a well-oiled machine. I think they've added a lot, because we were overwhelmed towards the end of the cycle, myself and DK. And we just really want to get that out, because you guys have really taken a lot of load off my shoulders, and it's really just we could just relax and do a little bit more. You know what I mean? I don't always have to be on front street all the time. So I'm just loving the league, and I'm really thankful that you're doing this, bro, because we talked about doing this, and now to see it finally come into fruition, I just can't wait to see how this takes off. I'm loving it already.
Like you're saying, the users are on the up and up. The content's going up. The immersion's skyrocketing right now. MSR 27, possibly the season of growth. And that'll do it for this installment of Plugged In with Timbo.